when he brought up Lee Daniels. See, Lee Daniels has a support team that tapped into that man's conscience, that made him say, let me go up on stage and give this woman an apology. I want my friend back, because I know, and if y'all listen to what he said afterwards, it's very important. He said, I got caught up essentially in the hoopla until I realized what was important. And it took an individual who had enough nuts, literally and figuratively, from the trans community named T.S. Madison, to have a real conversation with him. It took his family, his sisters, his people, black women that circled him and said, do right. Do what's right. And you know what? He was big enough as a man to do it. See, we don't fault anybody for making a mistake. The fault comes in when you know you made a mistake and you're not big enough to own what it is that you've done. And this black woman right here, because people have called her selfish. Y'all wasn't there on the set when it was a white gentleman refusing to give Lee Daniels the light he was supposed to get. And he said, I'm not going to give Lee the light that he wants. And Monique pulled his car right there and brought Lee over and said, this man is messing with your life. Y'all wasn't there on the set of Almost Christmas when Will Packer was given direction over a black man named David Talbot, who wrote and directed Almost Christmas. And she said, hey, don't disrespect this, what?
Black man.
By giving directions as a producer over the director. If you don't believe us, ask the question. See, y'all weren't there when Monique was on the Parkers. And she said to the individual, because this is what makes her a problem. I need y'all to know she can be difficult. This is what makes her a problem. The individuals that you call extras, she calls background professionals. She had a problem that they were sitting around all day and water and lemonade was what they were given. And she said, why won't y'all give them some of the hot food that we eat? Because we ordering out and y'all ain't even eating. See, that is a problem. But who is it a problem for? Is it a problem for the people who are sitting there all day with lemon and water if they get hot food? Because they were there before
we get there.
Okay. And there
after.
Or is it a problem for the powers that be? And you got to ask yourself, who is she having these challenges with? Is it the powers that be, or is it the people in the support positions trying to uplift the show? And it's the powers that be. Now, if Tyler Perry, if Oprah Winfrey had the courage to do the same thing, Monique never would have been blackballed for 13 years, because they would have said, we can't ask that sister to do anything for us for free when we don't have a contract for her to do anything with us.
Thank you, baby, because I want to address something.
Kick it.
And I want you black women to hear what this black man is saying. I gave Monique a chance. D.L. Hughley said he gave me a chance. Well, here will be the question. To do what? Mm-hmm. What did you give me a chance to do? You weren't the promoter. No monies came from you. Who are you that you would be giving me a chance? The arrogance that you could speak like that I gave her a chance. To do what, DL? And then if you're going to tell it, please don't mislead people. DL and I were scheduled to do another show together. I want us to address it, and I want y'all to do your homework. If you remember the Super Bowl show that happened in LA, there was a time that D.L. Hughley was on that show. And then there was a time that he just wasn't.
But you were the what on that show?
Headliner. I was the headliner on that show. All these other times that he speaks about, it never came across our desk. So stop trying to pull the wool over the community's eyes. And what I would ask of the community, what I would beg of us, stop being so quick to jump on the bus whichever way it goes down the street. Be brave enough to listen to what it really is, not your emotions, Not what you listen to, the facts of what it is. Go back and listen to what I said. I feel sorry for your family. I feel sorry for your wife. Listen to what I said. Listen to what I said when that man said, would your husband, or that woman said, would your husband rather sleep with these people? Ricky Smiley, would you be offended if someone said that about your loved ones? How about you, Roland Martin? Would you be offended if someone asked you that about your wife? How about you, Kim Whitley?
And he was also speaking in reference to wanting to give Monique a chance, and his people had warned him against it, as if he had some sort of prophecy seeing into the future ability. Let's clarify why he felt that way.
Why did he feel that way?
See, there was a show that he was doing on TV One called the D.L. Hughley Show.
Yes.
They reached out to me to ask if Monique would come on the show. I informed them, per her statement to me, that she would not be coming on the show.
Come on. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You got it, sweetness? Okay.
They then came back and asked why. I said to Monique, would you like me to tell them? She said, please do. I expressed to them Monique did not feel comfortable going on a show with an individual or supporting a man that she thought was a friend that would blindside her with the question that was ultimately putting our people down. So it was at that moment that DL knew there was a problem between Monique, but if you notice, he never made mention about that.
Why not?
See, we get into the specifics because we don't have anything to hide.
I'm sorry, Daddy. The way D.L. Hughley is playing it is as if I just came from out of left field and just jumped on this man. No, D.L. See, what you can't erase are the interviews. You can't erase your words. Those are your words. You can't erase calling me mentally ill. You can't erase calling me all of these slick things, brother. That's what you said. And now you tender. Now you're trying to trick our community. So when you're talking about I turn people against you, no, DL, you do a fine, mighty job of that yourself. And what happens is when you get your own medicine, now we sit here. And I want to address something else, Daddy. When I listen to people like D.L. Hughley, and it says, and calling him daddy, that's so weird. And I listen to the people like the Breakfast Club. This daddy thing, that's so weird. And I listen to some other people. Isn't it weird that they got us thinking love is weird to each other?
In addition to, they failed to mention that I referred to her as
mama. So we have bought into people having enough reverence and honor and respect to call each other mama and daddy, and they've made our community believe that that is weird? Really? So again, when I say I feel sorry for your family, I stand on what I said. Because anytime you're pouring into the community to show your spouse how much reverence you have for them, how much love and honor, and y'all have bought into it is weird. And I want to address it because I see some people writing down, oh, that go her husband again. That go, yes, there he goes again. God damn it. There he goes. Here he will stay. And because it looks so unfamiliar,
right,
to see a black man standing with his black wife, because it looks so unfamiliar to us, some of us sweet babies will try to pull it apart.
But when you get pulled up by Miss Sherilyn in the Whole Foods and she grab you by your arm and she pull up her girlfriend who easily was in her early 70s, and they say, we proud of how you stay by that black woman. We proud of what y'all doing. We can take all the ridicule, all the insults from anyone. What we trying to imply and confirm for individuals that are together utilize your mate because the system, the business, the world is designed to divide us. Out of the individuals that you've seen talking about the poor treatment that women get in this industry, how come you never see their management with them?
How come?
And the reason is, it is not in the best interest of management to speak to the bias that is attached to their black artists. And the reason being, they are beholden to the studios. Because as Monique was told by a former manager of a larger agency, and I witnessed it, he said, it is in our best interest to be on the side of the studios. Why? Because artists come and go, but the studios still stay.
And when y'all are saying, Monique called DL, I have no reason to call DL Hughley. If DL Hughley would like to talk to me and my husband, there's an open invitation. We would love to come on the show. But see, I didn't open up the door to this. DL Hughley opened up the door. Now you want to run and hide and close it, and now you want to talk and act as if you have been victimized. That's where the shame should come in. That's where the shame and the embarrassment should come in. See, there's no interviews y'all can find of me speaking about D.L. Hughley. There's not one interview in the history of interviews that you will find me speaking ill about D.L. Hughley. Not one, but there are several out there of him speaking of me.
And others.
And you're right, Daddy, because it ain't personal. And others. You run your mouth. And now I would like to address the dog and your dad, because I always want to make sure I'm playing folks fairly. See, really read what was written in reference to you having a support dog. Really read it, my sweet babies. Don't let a person like D.L. Hughley cloud your head on what he wants you to know. The words are there. The words are, a person that would need a support dog is a person that should never speak ill about anybody because they have their own concerns and issues that they're dealing with. Now, when you speak about your children and your family gave you that dog because you were really close with your dad and the love that y'all have and you want to keep him with you all the time, I respect that. And I hope that your dad told you, son, don't mess with people that's not messing with you because you're going to get your ass handed to you. I hope your dad shared that with you, so as you're walking the dog full of love in reference to your dad that is respected, I hope you take the principles and the morals and the values that Mr. Hughley fed into you to say, hey, brother, treat people like you want to be treated. Now, you treated Monique like you wanted to be treated. You talk shit to that baby for years, and then Saturday night, you got tender. How does that make sense for all the comedians that's watching? What are we teaching them, DL? Are we teaching them it's okay to act that way? For the older veteran comedians that got involved into this conversation right here and y'all started speaking foolishly, what are we telling the babies coming behind us? See, that's important to me. I know for some of y'all, it ain't important to y'all. You got yours, they got theirs to get. It's important to me what they see. It's important to me that they did see that contract. I'm glad you showed that contract. Sweet babies, if you are your own business, you should have your own contract. I don't know what kind of business DL does, that he would have a deal memo and say that that is a contract.
And you now know, for those who didn't know before and those who heard, the difference between a deal memo and a legal binding agreement. That deal memo is not enforceable. So why would he give you a deal memo that is not enforceable in the court of law? Look it up for yourself. Versus showing you a contract, a standard contract that has been written up by our attorney. And please understand, in your 32-year history of being a stand-up comedian, how many times has this happened?
This is the first time.
And we understand the promoter needed to grow a pair and tell DL what this situation was, because he got on the phone with our attorney and I and said he couldn't understand why DL's people were acting the way that they were acting when we don't have a contract. I made a verbal commitment to him, but we don't have a written contract, okay? Now, I don't know about you in 2022, because we don't have horses tied up to a stick outside for them waiting for us, where a handshake and your word supposed to mean something. The man said, I didn't have a contract. Now, he could have been lying. But DL provided you with a memorandum of understanding. A memo is what it said. You read it. So when you get a chance to see it, compare it, listen. Don't be afraid to go with what's right, because they will get you based upon who's popular. Don't do that to yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice.
And I want to address it, Daddy.
Get it.
For those of you who had questions about my professionalism on that stage, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing it for a long time. So for those of you who had questions about how I handle my stage performance, listen, that's my stage performance, and I'm unapologetic about it, Vivica. I'm unapologetic about that stage that I go on.
Vivica who?
Vivica A. Fox. I'm unapologetic about what I do on that stage. What you are not is a stand-up comedian by far. So for you to have any questions about it, ask somebody that can really educate you on what that stage is, not someone that want to host and take female comedians around and get paid off of their craft. See, I don't mess with anybody, y'all.
And a lot of individuals that have had a lot to say have been individuals that have confided in Monique. They were friends.
Through the years.
Like Sister.
Like Sister Vivica, like Sister Kim Whitley, like through the years, y'all. So it is important for me to say this. It is important for me to talk to the little girls who is not here yet. It is important for me to talk to the babies who's in the 7th grade and 8th grade and 9th grade and they thinking about getting in this business. It is important for me to let y'all know what to look out for. I'm obligated to do that, and I'm going to tell you why. When y'all gave me the title of auntie, I didn't ask for it. I didn't sign up for it. I didn't campaign for it. I didn't write a letter. That's what you babies begin to call me, and I took it as an obligation.
And an honor.
And an honor for a community to now look at me as a 54-year-old woman and call me auntie. So my job is, and I'm obligated to say, this is what you must look out for. This is what you must watch out for, because people that you welcome into your home, people that you break bread with, people that has cried on your shoulders, baby, you cannot be in your feelings when they go across the street and get on the bus to say, well, now we're going down to the left. It ain't personal. It's just what it is when you know the history of Hollywood. However, what I want y'all to know about me, it's important. I am not the sister. I'm making sure, Daddy, that it. Can y'all still hear us? I want to make sure we didn't. If you can still hear us, say yes. Yes. What I am not is the sister that you can poke, that you can say what you want to say, that you can make fun of and you can joke, because what I am is a comedian. What I am is a comedian. That's what y'all forget. And see, Vivica, when you questioned and you said you side-eyed the audience about them saying they were clapping for me, and how could she do that? Were you listening to the audience in front of me? They were entertained, sister. They were laughing. Some were standing. Some were hollering. They were enjoying themselves. So I hope now you don't take what I'm saying to you personal, because I don't take it personal. I just want to address it so that maybe y'all will think twice before y'all start speaking on people's lives and their decisions, because you have your own issues.
And we have to stop being comfortable with hearing the tea spilled on someone else, but now you're uncomfortable with a black woman sharing her own personal experiences.
Yes.
She ain't dropping dimes. She ain't spilling the tea on nobody else. She's not spreading a rumor on somebody. That we're comfortable with that. She's telling to you, and she's speaking to you in reference to how do we avoid the pitfalls that's out there designed to catch us up.
How? So, June 18th, I'm going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Come on.
At the Duke Energy Center. And will I have some shit to say? Yes, but I keep the stage. I keep this. When we talk to our community, it's in nothing but love. And I love us for real. Despite what y'all want to think, I even love the ones even more who don't get it. I love the black women even more who tell me to shut up and sit down because I know I got to fight for your babies. Because you damn sure not. You damn sure not. So for every person out there, every black woman out there, I'm speaking to us. Every woman out there, be unflinching in your position. Be unwavering in your position, and don't let a damn soul bully you. I don't care who it is. Let them know when they run into you, they running into a wall. So D.L. Hughley, you ran into a wall, brother. You ran into somebody that said, I ain't taking that land down.
And when you run into an individual, because people don't understand why Monique is the way that she is. See, when you run into an individual, because you wanted to tell your story in reference to the dog and your history and things of that nature, and that's fair. You're looking at a woman that was molested at 7 by her brother, her older brother, okay? 15, 16 years old. Then that brother walks her down the street and lets 2 other of his friends do the same thing to her. When she gets old enough and understands the level of violation that she experienced without her mother and father coming to her aid, she realized, I gotta sometimes do this myself. I gotta fight. I'm not gonna let nobody else take nothing else from me. The only difference now is daddy and mama, we're gonna stand together in this and let folks know that's what you're supposed to do. They got us fooled in believing what we doing is odd, is wrong. No, we supposed to stand together and uplift our community. And black men out there who out here attacking these black women for taking a position, that's a sign of weakness. That's a sign of weakness. And I want to shout out the good brothers like David Banner.
Come on.
I want to shout out the good brothers like our main man from Full Force, Bow-Legged Lou.
Come on.
Who always shout us out.
Come on.
Okay, they supportive and say, stand strong.
Come on.
Maurice Duncan. That y'all don't know, but that's my man. He's a PR cat. They get some of the baddest cats on there.
We can't forget Mr. Nashville.
Can't forget Brother Larry Nashville.
Cannot. And I want to shout out a sister. Couple of them. One sister's name is Corey B.
Come on.
And that sister goes on the road with me. And when that sister told me after it was said and done, not when it was happening in the moment, when I found out people were putting her off of shows because of her relationship with me, and she looked at me and said, if you rockin', I'm rolling, bitch. I don't care about them people putting me off them shows. See, that sister right there, she one of the baddest in the game. But there's another sister in this game that is a legend, that is a vet, that is so brilliant in what she does. And that sister's been calling me the whole way through. And her name is Roseanne Barr.
Come on.
The one we tried to throw away. See, I can't name the other black female comedians that say, hey, sis, I'm just calling to check on you. Just want to make sure you're good, because the fight is for y'all, goddammit.
Because if she's sitting here with some of the most prestigious awards, she's sitting here as the only comedian in the history. And some people will say Whoopi Goldberg. No, she's the most brilliant comedic actress in history in terms of what she's done. She's a monologuist. But in terms of a stand-up comedian, Monique is the only female stand-up comedian in the history that is of color to have ever won an Academy Award. And you can tell me about the white one that's wanted. A 22-year running sitcom, the first black woman in the history of the game to have a sitcom go 5 years, 100 episodes. But y'all didn't know that, and they don't want to talk about that. They want to keep it quiet, because if you don't speak about what it is that what you've done, then it's like you've done nothing.
And DL, let me address you on this, brother. When you say it's what you're doing right now, see, you've made people believe I've stopped being a stand-up comedian.
Come on.
I've never stopped being a stand-up comedian, baby. I've been out there on that road doing my thing the whole time. So stop trying to put a false narrative out there. That's Steve Harvey's big word. Stop trying to put a false narrative out there that, oh, I just disappeared. No, brother, Hollywood doesn't stop the show. You know that, DL. You've been in those comedy clubs. As a matter of fact, there were times you was leaving and I was coming. We didn't stop doing what we do, so why ever would you try to feed that into the community?
And I also want to thank Brother 50.
Come on.
Curtis Jackson.
Come on.
You didn't have to say what you said.
Come on.
But you did. Appreciate you. One black man to another.
I want to talk right to our baby. From one black woman to that beautiful, pure-hearted black man. And let me be clear. I'm saying Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is of pure heart. So when y'all get to talking about, oh, 50, you next, oh, that's a man, that's a king. He's of pure heart, baby, and he's principled. See, we have conversations offline and people got to saying, she ain't thanked 50 and she ain't said nothing to 50. We don't have to have our relationship online. And that brother ain't said nothing. When people tried to turn that thing into something ugly that it was not. So again, for you, brother, Curtis.
We love you.
We love you, baby. And there are those out there that we don't know your names. We want you to know we love you. We want you to know for the one